Don't blink, it's your boy Ying. Welcome to our show. Just doing Wapsa, having a wonderful day on the 2nd of October 2005. Today, we're doing a movie review. But we're doing two movies. I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do the two movie and one video or not. We'll figure it out as we go along this video. We're doing a movie review, but this is the very first movie that we do for the Spooktober 2025. So we are doing Scream. Now, Scream, I gotta say, amazing movie. The first one, amazing movie. The second one, we'll get into it later on. But the first one is absolutely insanely good. So as I mentioned in the previous video that we did today, I'm not very familiar with horror movie as a genre, and of course I watch a couple of things, but I'm not really versed in that. So Scream, it's kind of insanely good because it's about a group of teenagers that are obsessed with horror movie, and because they're obsessed with horror movie, they kind of want to become killer, right? Now, ultimately speaking, the reason why I'm not sure I want to do the second one and this one is because there's a lot of things inside that are really nice. So, for example, right, we have these. The second one is actually not bad. It's just the first one was just a masterpiece. I'd never seen a good movie like that. They're watching a lot of horror movie, right? And at the same time, in the second movie, they said, okay, well, maybe this is why there's a lot of killing because of their horror movie. But then this is really good because we are, and unintentionally speaking, there's a lot of breaking the fourth wall. So the fourth wall that we have is, okay, well, this is a horror movie. What would we do in a horror movie? What would we do? So basically, and this is super nice because there's so much in there. It's so packed with little details that are so cool. I mentioned my first impression of Scream was through Scary Movie, and Dewey, that was a kind of like a dopey little guy, but no, I love Dewey. And the first one is actually pretty good because it's a group of friends, right? And they're super into horror movie. Now, ultimately speaking, the plot itself is kind of crazy because of spoiler, I knew who the two killer was. The greatness of Scream in itself is that it's a mask. It's not a killer, it's a mask. So whoever is wearing a mask and whoever is killing is Ghostface, right? There's multiple ghost face, but it's always the same entity. You know, say, oh, this is the first Ghostface, or this is, for example, this is Freddy, or this is Jason, or this is Michael, or this is whatever, you know, Charles Lee Ray, my favorite. So the fact that there's this killer here, it's super nice because in the first one, it's everybody's wearing the mask. One of my favorite movie is Ink. Well, my name is Ink Vendetta, so one of my favorite movie is V for Vendetta. And V for Vendetta, there's a scene where they all wear the mask. In the school, they do the same thing. However, it's a bit less poetic. They're killers, right? So this is super cool because again, it's a case of who can it really be? There's a lot of details when you know who the killer are. There's a lot of details that prove that Stu, French, and Billy were the killer, right? Now, this is super fucking cool because Stu wasn't a killer. So Billy, what I thought was because, okay, so technically speaking, right, the events of Ghostface aren't real. They're only real when you take in consideration that this is not a new killer. This is a killer that killed before. So he killed the mom a year ago. Now, what I thought, everybody called the Sid the main character which is Sid, her mom's a slut. So they're saying, oh, your mom's a slut, your mom's a slut, your mom's a slut. So you're led to believe that somehow, some way, the character of the mom of Sid kind of broke young Billy's heart. Give me a sec. My girl, my girl, my girl, say my girl. You will be my girl, my girl, my girl, my world. Oh, let's go. I just love making content. So now what's going on is we uploaded all the videos we had to upload. So now there's nothing to upload, and I'm like, Schnitzel, what am I supposed to do, right? To me, it's really cool because if Billy was in love, right? But in the second, it's said that, okay, well, the killer is the mom of Billy, which it's so phenomenal because when you look at it, you realize that in Jason Voorhees, which is Friday the 13th, in the first movie, it's the mom that does the killing. In the second one, he wakes up. He's like, okay, well, what I did was evil. Because of that, I got a couple of favors. And because of that, I make you resuscitate, avenge me. So this could be a reference to that, right? But at the same time, it's just so phenomenal because again, you have in the first movie, and I'm going to do the two of them because I'm so focused on doing one of them. But let's do the two of them. Fuck it, fuck it. Anyway, the second one is great, but the first one is way better. We'll do two parts, right? I'll achieve the minutes and then we'll switch parts. So in the first one, like, Billy had a reason to do the killings, and it's super cool because you kind of notice that he's a bit out there. You kind of notice that he's a bit fucked up, right? And then you look at Stu, and you believe he's a bit fucked up, right? What is the craziest thing is there's literally a person that was accused of committing those crime, right? And it's amazing because they're talking about the 90s, and it's about the 90s. There's this small town, and what I did like about the movie is I first of all, the killing are kind of good. There's the guy who's a nerd or a geek as they call him when it comes to horror movies, like, okay, well, there's this golden rule: don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, right? There's this girl, which is Tatum, who gets killed, who is kind of cool because she had Sid's back. She has Sid's back, and the sad part is Tatum get killed, and then Sid's alone. And when you realize the killer is her boyfriend, this is kind of insane too, right? It's kind of insane. But at the same time, Tatum had her back, so when she's done, she's done. And then you realize that, okay, well, it's the classic fucking hot girl that gets killed in the movie. But no, she wasn't just a hot girl. She was quite important in the storyline. Other kills that are phenomenal. The principal that kind of had their back. You know, Dewey, who was supposed to be this guy that is kind of dopey, but is kind of like a good cop. For example, when there's like a person that gets stabbed, he is there, right? What is really cool is Courtney Cox as a reporter, and there's also a very important. She's very important, so she's very important. And what I love about the Scream movie is it's based in the 90s. Sorry, it's a tornado in there. So Courtney Cox is kind of important because she is a reporter in a small town, and because she's a reporter in a small town, then everybody else kind of treats her like she's from a small town, right? So people punch her, which is something that we wouldn't see in now. Now this movie was made in the 90s. I was born in the 90s. There's a cameraman, and there's a killer, and he gets killed protecting a stranger, and it's like, okay, well, go there, there's a door. So there's a lot of heroism. And Scream, I think the main good thing about Scream is it feels like a scary movie, but it also feels like a critically scary movie. It feels like a genre. It feels like the mascot of a genre. So at times it makes fun of scary movie. At times it's hyper focused on scary movie and breaks the fourth wall. And at times it's like, okay, well, this is a scary movie, so let's make it scary. Is Ghostface scary in itself? Not really. However, I will say that the first kill was actually really freaking cool. With Drew Barrymore, the first kill was actually pretty freaking cool because it does show its modus operandi. Now, ultimately speaking, it's kind of nuts because you realize that he's after Sid. Ghostface feels like this killer that's willing to kill. And ultimately, yes, he's a serial killer, right? But ultimately, he has a goal, which is Sydney. Everybody else that he kills is for fun. If he kills Sydney, would he continue to kill? Absolutely. But there is still a goal. The cool thing here is that Billy is completely insane. Stu is completely insane. But it's so nice because Ghostface at time feels super clumsy. Like there's a couple of scenes where there's furniture, he's gonna bump over the furniture. It's like, holy shit, what happened, right? And it's kind of funny because you have all those killers that are expert of avoiding obstacle, expert at catching victims, and it just doesn't happen. So it feels very real without being real. And that's it. That's it for the first part. We'll do the second part where we focus more on the second movie. Just to finish, the first movie is just a cult classic. See, the first movie was better than the second one because the first movie encapsulates a horror fan. It's a horror movie by a horror movie fan. It encapsulates heroes of the time for horror movie, which is 80s slasher. This movie was made in the 90s. Ghostface is quote unquote a slasher, but the 70s and the 80s where Charles Lee Ray was born where Jason Voorhees was born, where Freddy Krueger was born, where Michael Myers was born, you know. And I'm forgetting a couple of them, which is the guy from The Shining, the guy Pinhead. I'm forgetting another one. Well, technically speaking, see, and this is kind of insane because you look at it and you look at what's the name of what's the name of Art the Clown, the movie? Something that the Punisher, something like that. No. Art the Clown. Art the Clown. Terrifier, right? And it encapsulates that. And it's the fact that it's teenager. So it's kind of like I'm gonna say it's very wrong, but I don't care. One of my favorite parody movie is not another teen movie, right? Which is encapsulating the teen movie, and this is like not another horror movie. So in this one, it's kind of good. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.